So today is June 23rd, 2023, and just less than a week ago, we were celebrating, or some people at least, were celebrating Father's Day. And there's been so much going on in the realms of dads, and a lot of it is playing out with a lot of these mainstream actors and um, musicians and TV personalities. And as someone that has always had a rocky relationship with my dad, I actually wanted to speak about some things that hopefully someone could seek some guidance, some help, um, and to know that you're not alone, regardless of whatever society likes to class you and your family as. You're not alone. And this is not to bash dads. This is actually for you guys to look at it and understand that some of you guys really do need to look in the mirror. You guys don't acknowledge accountability. You don't want to look in the mirror. You don't want to pay attention to the signs that's blatantly in your face. It's blatant. And you're not slowing down to see it. You're too busy listening to everybody else. Pay attention to your instincts. It's telling you it's not right. It's not. Everything that you're doing that's against your family is working against nature. You're working against it. That means you're buying into a narrative that's not home. It took you away from home. That should have been your first indicator, but then. So I've actually don't like to talk too much about personal stuff, but I haven't actually had contact with my father. I haven't said that word associated to him in a long time. Um, it took a lot of recognizing why, and those are private. Everybody that comes to certain realizations of themselves should definitely keep that private. But what I will say, some of the insights and why I was the way I was and why I had to become the way I was we let society, if we allow it, we'll let society, family members, friends, whoever's ideas of what they thought your life should have been like to dictate our lives. And we have to realize that they can say what the fuck they want. Who cares? Who cares? And I say it like that, it's because it comes from a place of I know how it feels when everybody is judging your actions and you're standing 10 toes down regardless of their words. You're unmoving, unwavering, and you're staying right there. Whether they wind up understanding and realizing why you got to where you were, it ain't your business. It ain't your business nor your concern, and that's how you should keep moving, whether you're a man or a woman. If you so choose to decide to stop talking to any parent, whether it's your father, your mother, or anybody else, it is your duty to protect yourself, your sanity, and your peace. And if anything, if someone starts saying, oh, but that's your father, oh, that's your mother, oh, that's this, that's that, stay quiet and listen to them. Hear them. But don't explain a thing. You don't owe them a damn thing. If they wasn't there present watching exactly anything that's happened that may have created any forms of trauma, they have no license, no withstanding or reason to say a thing. If you only got to see the good parts and the parts that you thought were good, those were people that should have no say in your life at all. And if they were never even around to begin with, they definitely stop seeking advice from people that you know is going to tell you something that you're not going to want to do. We know this. We know when someone's going to give us an answer that's going to contradict what we're doing. Why do you feel like you need someone else to convince you to stop doing what you know you're supposed to do? It's very, now that's self sabotaging. Don't ask something if you know this is something you should be doing. If you know you should get away from people that's toxic, that's depleting you of your life force and your energy and your joy, just by every time you're around them, it's just like sucking out all the oxygen and all the things and the reasons to live. Why would you stay? And it's nothing but drama, chaos, and nonsense. It's called cleaning up house. You have a business to maintain, you have to clean up house. The same's to be said about your life. You have a life to live, you have to clean up house. This is about spring cleaning. Guess what? Start to sweeping and start removing things in which that no longer serves you and is no longer something that's of use. And yeah, you may stand alone, but you're never truly alone because there's millions of other people that have gone through this and probably even worse. It's just you haven't found them yet. And I remember this was, I had to come to the realization of doing that. I was 18 years old when I did that. When I decided, and no, matter of fact, I was a little younger than that. I knew that eventually it was coming. And it was just too much stuff going on in the house. It's just a lot of friction. Every time you talk to certain people, they always wanted to mention and speak about certain things. It was just, I was tired of it. I was over it, and I wanted it to be gone. So I stopped what I was doing, recognized the problem, and started dealing with myself. Started moving myself away from the problem. You have no problems when you move yourself away from it. Of course, problems pop up throughout life, but you got to learn how to solve each one. And each one takes a certain tool. And sometimes it comes to you innately. I never knew that I should be just cutting people off just because to keep my peace. But at 18 years old, I was like, yeah, I had to keep my peace. I had to keep. I was like 18, 19. I was still a teenager though. But, so that's a little over 10 years now for me. Um, so, um, but on the same strength, I actually wanted to say something about the dads that are out there that's listening, that's compassionate, that's holding and hugging their daughters and their sons, but mostly their daughters. I feel like the women, the girls of the world, some girls, they'll have a dad, but they'll always wish that they had a son. And they'll make it seem like, having a son is the best prize and possession. And in a way, that's to the detriment of the little boy because boys are not possessions, just like little girls are not hindrances. They're not a hindrance, you know. And too many parents, too many for so long, allowed the programming of the enemy to infiltrate the home. And this is what the problem is of today. All this infighting between men and women, trying to compare men and women. It's just a bunch of chaos. It's chaotic. And when we all stop talking, shut the hell up, and pay attention to the healthy relationships that's happening, and you start seeing how men and women truly can coexist and or create a beautiful family or life, whether you're gay or not, it doesn't matter. None of this stuff matters. All of these labels, gay, straight, left wing, right wing, middle wing, who the fuck cares? All of this shit, we are one. Whether you like it or not, all your racist biases, all these things, they're labels created and constructed by corporations and people that never would care about you. Because if they did, they wouldn't have created such division. And if you think I'm just saying this stuff because of whatever, who cares? If you're not looking up the information, this ain't for you. I'm only talking to my people that get that and feel it. If you could feel this and feel this message, this is for you. But if you can't feel a damn thing I just said, get the hell out. This ain't for you. This is only for my feelers. I don't care if you white, black, Spanish, African, Haitian, we all one. So if you see yourself as separate from this ain't for you. So, I want to say thank you to the dads that's out there that's still showing people what it is to be within your true masculine and to exert that. So, and what I mean by that is basically the Andrew Tates of the world. So people that utilize that understand Andrew Tate. I'm not saying, oh, you act just like him. No, but you have qualities where you respect women. You understand your role as a man, and you never try to suppress or diminish or push down a woman. Because if you truly listen to what Andrew Tate talks about, he doesn't suppress women. Sure, his approach sometimes is a little rough, but if the right woman come in his life, could help correct him. Remember that. When a strong, high-value woman knows her worth, she gets the man into submission. It works. It's just us women has to learn our power. And I just wanted to say thank you to the fathers that's out there, that's hugging their kids, that's sharing moments with their family. And I'm not going to say any names, but there's a lot of different fathers out there that's been sharing and showing that they show up for their kids, even if it's the smallest things, because it's those small things that's so important to their kids' lives that it makes that impact. You know, the things that you might brush off as, that's insequential, it doesn't matter, you know, whatever, leave me alone. I'm doing something, I'm scrolling. Leave me alone. You know, that one day is going to impact the children, and then you're going to be wanting their attention one day. You know, the roles always reverse. One day, recognize this. You're going to be crying for attention, and they may not give it to you, just like you never gave to them when they were little. I'm not saying that they're doing this out of spite. Some kids do it out of spite. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's not out of spite. It's the energies that it's a completion of a cycle. So if you started the cycle of not paying attention to your kids, they're going to end out the loop sometimes, and they might wind up ending out the loop. It depends on the child, and it depends on the circumstances and their upbringing and a bunch of other things. But ultimately, the likelihood of them doing exactly as you did to them is more higher because that's what they knew. Unless they learn and realize and do better, they could actually break that chain. It depends, you know. However, keeping that in mind, would you want to be someone that's older where you're talking to your kids and they never pay attention to you? So why do it to them? You know? And it's like, if that was something that happened to you while you was a kid, why would you continue the cycle? You know? I used to have a supervisor, and she used to say, oh, if it happens to me, I'm going to do it back. Or like, well, it was done to me, so I'm going to do it too. And for a long time, those statements bothered me. I couldn't contextualize why. And this is a part of the slave mentality. This woman is Puerto Rican. She's not even someone that could be considered melanin or something, or melanated person, or someone that's indigenous. Well, I guess in her own right she's indigenous, but she's not someone that has a heavy dose of melanin in her skin. So this is the problem. It's the bucking and breaking them into submission is the problem. And this is why a lot of kids are like, no more. They don't want nothing to do with their parents. Shit, some of these people don't even want to have children now because they're still working on healing the inner child that's been broken and broken and broken and broken and broken. The world's in need of a mass healing. Mass healing. Everybody needs healing. Everybody. Nobody's been untouched in this war. Nobody has. Um, Finding 5 minutes of stillness will be your best asset in life, and being able to pray over yourself, whether you believe in any divination, um, any religions of any kind, of your spiritual practicer of any kind, whatever it is, tap into something that you truly believe in. This message is for all people. Even though I started this off speaking to dads, but this is really for all, because there's a huge attack on the masculine male. And when the male is attacked in such a way, they're trying to break into the homes. And if they get that chance, the women, if there's women around, normally it's the last defense. And I'm not saying this to be scary, eerie, or anything like this. Understand the severity. People think of this as a joke. Oh, it's just the pride, it's just that. And it's like, how long are you just going to say it's just? Getting rid of body parts to become something else that you were never meant to really be in this lifetime is called genocide. Read the Bible, please. Read it. Read it. Read it. It's genocide. Sewing up lips and removing organs to be donated to science or to someone else that could use your womb that wants it. These are genocidal things, and all I say is seek the divine in any way that which you find helpful. Seek people that are speaking real. You don't even have to really seek me. If you want to, you sure can. Um, but just understand that the attack on the male is an attack on everybody. And this is the beginning points of war. And they're creating this and putting this in our mindsets to make it seem like, oh, it's just an attack on men and it's nothing. No, they want the children. They want the children that they couldn't get to, that still has the safe, people that still have morals and, stuff of that nature. And if it gets to their end, like if it gets to what they want, it creates the world in which that they want. You know, if you believe in abundance, you believe in the future of, prosperity and being able to pass things down in a legacy, protecting the male, even if you're not, uh, uh, if you're straight, if you're gay, it really doesn't matter, because we have to recognize that the divine masculine is what the men are. They are the personification of it. It's just a lot of men don't, act in their divinity. Just like there's a lot of women that don't act in their femininity. They're not acting in their feminine uh, divinity. But there's a lot more women and men starting to understand their power and their roles in this world. So don't get me wrong, there are some that are definitely far from it, but there's a majority. The majority is tapping into themselves. They're understanding that they need to pay attention to their natures. And understand that they have a nature to even pay attention to. Reestablishing the link between your nature and being conscious of it. And this is going to come from shadow work, paying attention to your triggers, paying attention to the things that manipulate your emotions, things that exploit your emotions, and recognizing where you need to pay attention to and nurture, and start um, recognizing these things, and also nurturing your inner child. Nurture yourself in a way that you wish your parents would have nurtured you. That's how you nurture your inner child. How did you wish your parents dealt with you in certain situations? If you used to get yelled at a lot and cursed at a lot, how would you have wanted your parent to talk to you instead? Speak to yourself in soft tones. Say, I got you. I understand. I love you. You're not dumb. You didn't deserve that. Just remember that most of our parents are misguided and unhealed as well. So a lot of us has to do the cleanup work of not just ourselves, but also the stuff that they've done to leave on us. So we have to clean up the stuff in which that no longer serve us, plus untangle ourselves from the trauma in which that came from it. So, again, remember that this is an attack on all men. This is not just an attack on certain men. This is an attack on all men, whether you're straight, gay, but it's not just an attack on men, this is an attack on everybody. If you find yourself being a masculine man, this is definitely an attack on you. And understand that, tap into your nature, and whatever signs your higher self is sending to you, pay attention and prepare. Because it's best to be more prepared and not needed than needed and not prepared. So, um, um, so I hope this gets through to those that hears this, and you know everything is going to work out in its best form and way and order. And as long as we believe it to know it to be so, regardless of our physical forms, these things are here to be here for lessons and blessings, and to understand and to learn and to get back to the divine anyway. So, hold a level of detachment. Love yourself, however, be detached in case or if anything were to happen, and be detached. It's okay. And last thing, I remember listening to Uncle Hank. He was like, don't go to the light. It's a trick because you'll wind up coming back here. If you could remember that, remember it. If this was or is to happen to certain people, don't go to the light if you don't want to come back to hell. Okay? And on that note, take care, level up and understand your discernment, become more discern things, understand that there's hidden within messages sometimes. Just pay attention. If you could capture it so you could really dive deep into it, even better. And on that note, I'll talk to you all soon.